Long ago, the world was a vast and mysterious place. People looked at the dark forests, the deep oceans, and the endless sky with wonder. They did not always understand what they saw. A strange noise in the woods could be the wind, or it could be something else. A shadow in the water could be a rock, or it could be a monster waiting. To explain these mysteries, people told stories. They imagined incredible creatures. These were the first mythical beasts. They were born from a mix of fear, curiosity, and the human need to make sense of the world. These stories were more than just tales. They were answers to life's biggest questions. These creatures were not created just to scare children into behaving. They served many purposes. Some were guardians, powerful beings that protected sacred places or noble families. Think of a griffin with the body of a lion and the head of an eagle, guarding a treasure hoard. Others were symbols of nature's power. A mighty dragon could represent the destructive force of a storm, or the life-giving flow of a river. People used these beasts to explain things they couldn't control, like earthquakes, floods, and droughts. By giving a face to these forces, they felt they could understand them, and perhaps even bargain with them through rituals and offerings. The creation of these beasts was also a way to teach important lessons. Stories about heroes fighting monsters were not just for entertainment. They taught people about courage, cleverness, and the difference between good and evil. A tale about a foolish person tricked by a mischievous sprite warned against being too trusting of strangers. A story about a greedy king whose treasure was guarded by a fearsome beast taught that wealth comes with its own dangers. These creatures became characters in a grand, ongoing lesson about how to live a good and careful life. They were the stars of the world's first fables, their forms and stories passed down through generations. So, what are mythical creatures? They are the dreams and nightmares of our ancestors. They are the personification of the unknown, the embodiment of our virtues and our vices. They are the answers to questions we are still asking today. They are born from the shadows, just beyond the campfire, from the depths of the human imagination. They are a universal language that connects every culture across the globe. These beasts show us that, no matter where we come from, we all share the same fundamental hopes and fears. They are a testament to our collective creativity and our unending quest for meaning in a complex world. Every corner of the world has its own special collection of mythical beasts. In the cold lands of Scandinavia, people whispered tales of the Kraken. This was a sea monster so enormous that it could be mistaken for an island. Sailors feared it, believing it could pull entire ships down into the icy depths with its giant tentacles. Far away, in the warm deserts of Egypt, the Sphinx stood guard. With the body of a lion and the head of a human, it was a symbol of wisdom and royal power. The Sphinx asked riddles, and only the cleverest travelers could pass. These creatures were shaped by the lands they came from, one from the dangerous sea, the other from the timeless sandy landscape. Travel to East Asia, and you will find dragons. But these are not the greedy, fire-breathing monsters of European tales. The Chinese dragon, or long, is a wise and benevolent creature. It is a symbol of luck, power, and control over water. It brings the rain needed for crops to grow. It lives in rivers and soars through the clouds, a majestic and respected force of nature. In Japan, you might encounter the kitsune, a clever fox that can have many tails. The more tails a kitsune has, the older and wiser it is. They are known as magical tricksters, but they can also be loyal companions and guardians, showing that not all magical beings are simple or one-sided. In the Americas, stories were woven into the very fabric of life. The indigenous peoples of North America told stories of the thunderbird. This was a massive bird, so powerful that the flapping of its wings created thunder, and lightning flashed from its eyes. It was a mighty spirit of the sky, a bringer of storms, but also a protector of humankind from evil spirits below. In Central and South America, the Aztec and Maya peoples revered the Quetzalcoatl, a feathered serpent. This godlike creature was a symbol of creation, wisdom, and the wind. Its name combined the beautiful Quetzal bird with the powerful serpent, representing the union of earth and sky. Meanwhile, in ancient Greece, a whole pantheon of strange and wonderful creatures roamed the lands and seas. There were the centaurs, half human and half horse, who could be both wise teachers and wild, untamed beasts. Mermaids and sirens lured sailors with their beautiful songs, representing the deadly allure and hidden dangers of the ocean. The Minotaur, A creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull was trapped in a labyrinth, a symbol of humanity's monstrous side hidden away. Each of these beings represented a different aspect of the human experience, from our connection to nature to the internal conflicts we all face. Mythical creatures were not just characters in stories. They were deeply connected to the beliefs and daily lives of ancient societies. People truly believed these beings existed. They made offerings to appease powerful dragons and prayed to benevolent spirits for protection. A farmer might leave a bowl of milk out for a brownie or pixie, hoping the creature would help with chores around the farm. A sailor might carry a charm to ward off sea monsters. These beliefs shaped rituals, traditions, and even laws. The existence of these creatures explained why certain places were sacred, or why some actions were considered taboo. They were the glue that held a culture's worldview together. This deep belief naturally flowed into art and literature. If you look at ancient pottery, sculptures, and paintings, you will see these creatures everywhere. Greek vases are covered with images of heroes battling the Hydra, or Heracles wrestling the Nemean lion. In medieval Europe, cathedrals were decorated with stone carvings of gargoyles and demons, meant to scare evil spirits away and remind people of the constant battle between good and evil. These were not just decorations. They were visual storybooks for people who could not read, teaching them the important myths and moral lessons of their culture. The art made the myths real and visible for everyone to see. Literature, from epic poems to simple folk tales, was the primary way these stories were preserved and passed down. The Epic of Beowulf tells the story of a great hero who fights the monster Grendel. The Odyssey is filled with Odysseus's encounters with creatures like the Cyclops and Scylla. These stories were the blockbusters of their time, shared orally around fires and in great halls. They entertained audiences but also reinforced cultural values like bravery, hospitality, and piety. The monsters in these tales were essential. Without the dragon, the hero has nothing to prove his courage against. The monster defines the hero. The influence of these creatures also extended to the physical world. Maps from long ago often had illustrations of sea serpents and other monsters in unexplored regions of the ocean. These drawings served as a warning, "Here be dragons." They represented the boundaries of the known world. The belief in these creatures could discourage exploration, but it also fueled it. The desire to find proof of these fantastic beasts, or to find the magical lands they were said to inhabit, drove many adventurers to set sail into the unknown. In this way, myths about what lay beyond the horizon actually helped to expand the borders of the world. Even though we now have scientific explanations for the world's mysteries, mythical creatures have not disappeared. They have simply moved into new homes. Today, their primary domain is our entertainment. You can find dragons, elves, and griffins in books, movies, and video games. Series like Harry Potter and The Lord of the Rings are filled with these beings. Games like Dungeons & Dragons allow players to become heroes and battle monsters from every mythology imaginable. These creatures are no longer used to explain the weather, but they are still powerful symbols that storytellers use to explore themes of good, evil, courage, and adventure. Their presence goes beyond just fiction. Mythical beasts continue to be powerful symbols in our modern world. A sports team might call itself the Dragons or the Giants to project an image of strength and power. A company might use a griffin in its logo to symbolize protection and wisdom. Countries still use these creatures on their flags and coats of arms. Wales has a red dragon on its flag, a symbol of its ancient heritage. The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland. These creatures connect people to their history and give them a shared sense of identity, reminding them of the old stories that shaped their nation. Why do we still love these creatures so much? Perhaps it is because they represent a world more magical than our own. In our everyday lives, we follow rules and routines. The world of myths is a place where anything is possible. A horse can fly, a fox can talk, and a bird can create thunderstorms. These stories give us a temporary escape from the ordinary. They spark our imagination and remind us that there is still room for wonder in the world. They connect us to the creativity of our ancestors and allow us to experience the same sense of awe that they felt when looking up at a starry sky. Ultimately, mythical creatures are still meaningful because they tell us something important about ourselves. They are mirrors that reflect our deepest hopes, our darkest fears, and our greatest aspirations. The monsters we create show us what we are afraid of, whether it is the power of nature or the darkness within our own hearts. The heroes and benevolent beasts show us what we strive to be: brave, wise, and good. These ancient beings are more than just old stories. They are a timeless part of the human experience, a bridge to our past, and a source of endless inspiration for the future. They prove that a good story, especially one with a great monster, never truly dies.